for the exact time.
Okay. So, but once you're at UT, you're in the emergency room waiting area, and then you go into the women's restroom, I presume.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Tell
me about like the restroom as you recall it, the setup.
Okay, when I went in, there was like maybe 3 stalls, and I was the only one in there, so I went to the back stall and used the bathroom. Then I heard somebody come in, and I saw him like stand at my door, and I just felt that was a little different.
So when that person's standing outside your stall door, is it just still you and that other person in the bathroom? Okay. What happens next?
I opened the bathroom stall to go out, and there's a lady standing there, and she has a phone in her hand.
Can you describe that lady to me?
She had a Michael Kors backpack.
Did you see that lady in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Could you point her out and describe what she's wearing, please?
I'll have to stand. She's wearing a black top.
Okay. You know, may the record reflect she's the identified defendant. So you exit the stall. You see this individual. What happens next?
She's trying to hand me a phone, and she's like, "Please take my phone and just throw it anywhere."
Did she tell you why she wanted to get rid of her phone?
I asked her why, and she said a man had come into her house and shot her daughter, and that she was needing to get rid of her phone because the cops were going to take it.
Were there any other reasons she said she might want to get rid of that phone to you?
She had mentioned something about selling drugs, and she said the cops would think she had something to do with it.
Okay. Do you recall this individual's demeanor when you're interacting with her?
She was just nervous, acting and fidgety.
Okay. Did you take that phone from her that evening?
No, I didn't.
What did you do?
I just kept telling her, "I'm sorry, I don't want to be a part of it." Then I went on up to wash my hands, and she kept following me up there, like begging, "Please, please, just help me." And
Did you exit the bathroom with her?
no.
So when you exit the bathroom, was she still in that bathroom?
Yes.
Okay. Once you exit the bathroom, what do you do next?
I had went over there, and I sat by my husband, and I told him what had happened in the bathroom.
Okay. Do you know what your husband did with that information?
He went and got one of the cops and had him come over and talk to me.
Okay. And did you talk to a law enforcement officer that evening?
Yes.
Okay. That's the witness, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Sands. You may step down. Have you convinced your son that he shouldn't get on the back of any more bulls?
Yes, he's not gone anymore.
Okay. Congratulations. All right, if you would ask Ms. Sands to step out, please. You'll probably be called back in here in just a few minutes, Ms. Sands, once the jury comes in. All right, let me hear your argument. General, why do you believe that the evidence, obviously there's no question about the fact that this defendant attempted to solicit someone to take her phone. That's clearly admissible proof. The argument, as I understand it, is that there should be no mention of the fact that she suggested that the cops might find something to do with drug transactions on the phone. Am I correct in that assumption?
That is correct, Your Honor, because the motion that they filed on 404B was specifically about the other talk about drug transaction that we dealt with last Friday.
Let me hear your argument, General.
Your Honor, I think as we heard in the prior hearing on Friday, that there in fact are text messages that evening involving drug transactions, specifically with Mr. Key. And this is the defendant's statement. She's telling this individual to get rid of the phone, and that is one of the reasons she is saying she wants this phone disposed of. So I think it certainly goes to her motive and the state's theory about this case. The text messages, I think the court's already ruled that involving Joe Key are coming in. So I think her testimony is consistent with the introduction of that text message. Again, that's what she's telling this individual, why she wants to get rid of that phone. So I think that is relevant to this case. Specifically, I mean, she's given multiple false reports, and here, again, she's saying someone shot her daughter, and maybe something to do with drugs, and that's why she wants to get rid of the phone. So I think it is relevant, and I think it should be admissible.
Mr. Whalen, anything else?
Judge, I fail to see how the talk of wanting to get rid of the phone because there may be something about drugs on it fits into their theory of the case, when the theory of the case is that she left the firearm where the child could get a hold of it, and the child did get a hold of it and shot his sister. So I don't know how this has any probative value and makes any element of the charge of first-degree murder, or even clearly wanting to get rid of it. It goes to the tampering, but it doesn't. The fact that there may be some drug talk going on there doesn't make that more or less likely. I mean, she's bent it and put it in the sink.
Well, the damning evidence, for lack of a better way of putting it, is the effort to discard the phone and her desperate attempts to have someone else take the phone and do something with it. Why does the concern that she has over the police finding something about drugs on her phone when her daughter's body is not yet cold, why doesn't that go directly to her state of mind and consciousness of guilt?
Because, Judge, for one, this little procedural issue is that they did not file a notice of 404B to introduce that.
Show me where in the rule they have to do that.
Why did we have an argument last Friday, Judge, about the other drug incident? I mean, we can't say that yeah, they have to put us on. This is a prior bad act, right?
Well, it's an admission by your client.
But it's also a prior bad act. So under 404B, they got to give me notice. They knew that. That's why they gave me notice on the other incident. So we can't have trial by ambush by giving notice on one incident and not on the other one, and then just throw it up here and say, well, it kind of, it helps our theory. No, it prejudices the jury beyond its probative value, and for that reason, it's inadmissible.
I think in the grand scheme of things, General, what you're eliciting from this witness, the fact that she says something about drugs on her phone is not very significant. I'll allow you to put it in if you want to, but the devastating proof from this witness is about the fact that this defendant, while her daughter is in another part of that hospital, is desperately trying to discard her phone because she doesn't want the police looking at it. So, but it's in this court's judgment, the fact that she's doing that is highly probative. The fact that she makes a statement about her reason for doing so, when you consider it in conjunction with the fact that we're going to hear from another witness who I've already heard from, that she had been texting on that very phone on the way to the hospital about getting rid of that gun, that's very incriminating proof. So it's highly probative, it's highly relevant, it's coming in. I will allow the state to elicit the testimony, the admission she makes about drug dealing, because I think it goes directly to her state of mind, and what, which, I mean, the whole central issue here, folks, is was she negligent in how that gun was handled and allowing the one child to get the gun and potentially and actually fatally harm the other. So it's relevant, it's coming in. The court clearly finds that whatever unfair prejudicial effect is greatly outweighed by the probative value. but I'll leave it to your sound discretion on whether or not you want to put that part of the testimony in, because to me that's, in the grand scheme of things of what this witness will testify, it's rather insignificant. All right. Anything else we need to take up pre-trial before we bring the jury back in? I don't know. We got all of them here. Okay, you got all our exhibits, Lisa.
Yes, sir.
I just want to be clear on the issue of the photographs that were coming in. It's not because the computer was up. It was because they were using them with the witness without laying a basis for entering them. I thought they were going to do that, but we had several of these photographs published during direct examination without with the photo being introduced.
I don't recall that, but obviously authenticate the photograph before you introduce it. All right, we ready to bring the jury in? Get them lined up. All rise for the jury. All right, everyone may have a seat. Waive the call for the state. For the defense. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you had a good evening. We are still in the state's case in chief. General, you may call your next witness.
Keith Preston Tucker, Your Honor.
Recall Trooper Tucker. And have a seat, please. You're still under oath.
Good morning, Trooper Tucker. Kind of pick up where we left off. So you transported Ms. Howington from Balsam to UT Medical Center.
That's correct.
Okay. And is UT Medical Center in Knox County?
It is.
Okay. Once you transported her to UT Medical Center, what do you do?
I get out of my vehicle. Ms. Howington gets out of the vehicle, and we proceed into the ER lobby waiting area.
Okay. So are you describe the lobby waiting area to the jury?
There's multiple different check-in areas. It's pretty hectic. It's always usually crowded. And off of that, there's various hallways where you go for the different rooms. Then there's like a family crisis room, kind of where you get updates about family members. that are needing intense care.
Were you waiting with Miss Howington during this period?
Yes, we're kind of in the middle of the middle of everything, middle of all the traffic.
Okay. Did at some point she go use the restroom?
She did.
Okay. Then at some point after that, were you approached with information about Ms. Howington's behavior in the bathroom?
Yes, I was alerted to her action, alerted by a male citizen concerning her actions in the restroom regarding her cellular device.
And what did you do from there with that information?
With that information, I attempted to make contact with her.
How did you do that? How do you attempt to make contact with her?
My first instinct was to get a female nurse to try to go into the restroom for me to try to obtain this cellular device, as cell phones are critical pieces of virtually any investigation in law enforcement. So I wanted to obtain it quickly. Eventually, I just kind of, like a better term, just shimmy my way into the women's restroom.
When you did that, was there anyone else in the restroom?
I don't recall. I know Ms. Howington was in the restroom.
Could you see her?
I did.
And what did you do from there?
I demanded her cell phone from her, and I obtained it.
When you obtained that cell phone, can you describe the script or describe the condition it was in?
I know it was in the off setting, and it was not on. It was not powered on.
What did you do with that cell phone from there?
I alerted the detectives, talked to Detective Riddle or Wardlaw over the radio, and just let them know that I had the phone, that I believed that the defendant had attempted to get rid of the phone, and then they advised me to preserve it, and they quickly came to my location in the hospital.
Okay. So let's circle back. At this point in 2019, you had a cruiser camera and not a body camera?
Correct. We had the old L3 system. Again, by today's standards, it's extremely archaic, low tech in today's time.
And was that in-cruiser camera system operating that evening?
It was.
Have you had an opportunity to review that your in-cruiser camera footage?
I have.
Is it fair and accurate?
It is.
I want to circle back to the time period when you're driving Miss Howington to UT Medical Center. Do you recall that time period?
I do.
Have you reviewed that period of your cruiser camera?
I have.
Is it fair and accurate?
Yes, sir, it is.
No, maybe you have the table, please. Trooper Tucker, we're starting here at 21.
Is this been introduced?
I'm about to.
Okay.
21,
Not been
21.
introduced, Judge, it shouldn't be shown.
Well, he's showing it to him for authentication purposes. Is this your cruiser video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this beginning at 21, 21, this period going forward?
Yes, sir.
Is it fair and accurate?
It is accurate. Yes,
We'll
sir.
move this in as the next exhibit.
All right, mark and file, it's number 6.
May we publish, Your Honor?
You may.
What's your name? Ron. My name is Preston. My name is Ron. Clean it out, sir.
My mic, they were, I'd say, somewhat close, within a conversational distance.
Request permission to publish, Your Honor.
You may.
Again, for the record, we're beginning at 21:48:09.
Thank you for calling now. Thank you for calling. You need to get out of bed. the doctor? Okay.
So that, we're stopping at 21, 48, 34. So that sound, that creak, and then you're asking for the phone. Explain what's going on right there.
That was after I was alerted to Miss Howington's actions, and that was me. I believe that was me exiting the restroom. Was the creek? I was already had already entered and was talking to her face to face and obtaining possession of the phone.
We'll continue playing.
What are you doing?
Stopping at 21, 48, 46. Whose female voice is that?
It's Miss Howington's.
Continue to play, Ron. Pass the witness, Ron.
Cross-examination.
Good morning, Trooper.
Good morning, sir.
You doing okay up there?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So, when they played that video, Mr. Ammon stopped it a few times and asked you about who the voice was and what they were saying.
Yes, sir.
He did not stop you at 21, 34, 29, and when you can clearly hear Miss Howington praying that her baby's okay, right?
Yes, sir.
You heard that clearly.
Yes, sir.
Did you hear her at around 21:31 saying, "Please come to UT. I'm in a police cruiser. They're taking me to the hospital. Please come to UT."
Yes, sir.
And when she was praying that to let her baby be okay, did you hear her crying at that point?
Yes, sir. I did.
And then she asked you if you'd heard anything about the condition of her baby.
Yes, sir.
And you told her you didn't know.
Correct, sir.
No further questions. Thank you, Trooper.
You may step down. Thank you, Trooper. You're excused. Call your next witness.
Marty Sands.
Please. And if you would come around and have a seat in the witness chair, raise your right hand and be sworn. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give you be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Have a seat, please. Adjust the microphone if you need to.
Could you state and spell your name for the record?
Yes, Marty Sands, MartySands,
And where do you live?
in Maryville, Tennessee.
Okay. Are you married?
Yes, I've been married 32 years.
You have any children, grandchildren?
3 kids and 6 grandkids.
What are the ages of your children?
31, 28, and 26.
Okay. Are you employed?
Yes,
Where are you?
at Waters State Community College.
Okay. I want to draw your attention to September the 14th, 2019. Did you have an occasion to be at UT Medical Center?
Yes, my son was hurt.
Okay. Can you tell me how your son got hurt?
He was at the fair riding a bull, and he got kicked in the head and had a broken collarbone.
So you went to UT Medical Center so he could get treatment for those injuries?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall what time you arrived there that evening?
I don't remember.
Okay. Can you tell me where you were once you arrived at UT Hospital, where you were staying?
In the emergency room department.
Okay. Was it just you in there, or were there other
It
people?
was me and my husband, and some of our friends had come.
Were there other people there waiting for their family or friends, or was it just you and your family in that emergency room?
Yes, it was a little busy.
Okay. Did you have an occasion to go use the restroom that evening?
Yes.
Can you just tell me about going into the restroom and describe its layout?
I had went in to use the restroom. There was probably maybe 3 stalls, and it was empty. There was no one in there, and I went into the last one. And then I had heard somebody coming in, and they come and stood at my door, and I just thought that was a little weird.
Okay. What happened next?
I opened the door to come out, and she's standing there, has a phone in her hand, and tries to get me to take it. She's like, "Please take my phone." And I questioned it, and she said a man had come into her house and shot her daughter, and the cops are going to take her phone, and she needed me to just throw it away somewhere for her.
Did she give you any other reasons why she wanted to get rid of that phone?
She had said something that she sold drugs, and just that the cops were going to take her phone.
Okay. That female that you encountered in the bathroom that evening, do you see her in the courtroom today?
Yes, over there in the black shirt.
Can you describe her physical appearance?
Like today, or?
Do you recognize the person that was in the bathroom that evening?
Yeah, she's sitting right there.
Your Honor, may the record reflect she's identified.
It shall.
So she asked you to take her phone. Do you do it?
No, I didn't.
Okay. What do you do from there?
She was just constantly begging me, and I had told her what happened to my son. I told her I was sorry about her daughter, and I just went on to wash my hands, and she just kept following me and like begging, and I was like, "I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it."
Okay. Did you ultimately exit that restroom?
Yes.
Did she exit with you?
No.
Okay. So she stayed in the restroom when you exited.
Yes.
Okay. Once you exit the restroom, what happens next?
I just walked over there and sat down by my husband, and I told him what happened in the bathroom.
Okay. That individual you encountered, Miss Howington, in the bathroom, do you recall anything about her demeanor?
She was just nervous and like fidgety. She wasn't crying or anything.
Okay. So once you're out, you told your husband what had happened?
Yes.
And do you know what he did with that information?
He went and got one of the cops that was standing around there and talked to them, and they come over and was questioning me.
That's the witness, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Good morning, Ms. Sands.
Good morning.
My name is Mike Whalen, and I represent Ms. Howington. I just got a couple of questions for you, okay?
Okay.
Before you ran into Ms. Howington in that bathroom that night, did you know her at all?
No.
Did you know anything about her?
No.
So you don't know how she is normally or anything else, right?
No.
And you were there because your son had been kicked
Hurt.
by a bull.
Yeah, at the fair and the rodeo.
That's got to hurt.
Yes.
Hopefully wasn't seriously injured.
He had a broken collarbone, but he's healed.
At the time you encountered Miss Howington, did you know yet what the condition of your son was?
No, I did not.
What was your state of mind at that point?
I was upset, and
When you're upset like that in that kind of situation, you don't know what happens. You know your son's been injured, but you don't
Yeah.
know yet how seriously.
yeah.
What's your thinking like at that point? Clear? Confused?
No, I was just, wanting to go back and see him so I could see for myself that he was all right.
Right. You were concerned
Yes.
because you're a mother, right?
Yes.
or just a human being, you'd be concerned about a young man getting hurt,
Yes.
right? Thank you, ma'am. No further questions.
Any further, General? You may step down, Ms. Sands. Thanks for being here. Call your next witness. Reset. All right, we'll stand in recess. Let me know when that witness gets here.